Hi, you guys. Welcome to Cabo Verde Wellness. My name is Karen. Today we have a lovely short practice for the pelvic floor muscles. We're going to learn a few yoga poses to strengthen weak pelvic floor muscles, and we're going to learn a few poses to relax tight pelvic core muscles. So, first, let's imagine our pelvic core muscles as a little hammock at the bottom of our spine, and these muscles spread from our tailbone to our pubic bone, back to front, and also from left to right, from sit bones to sit bones. So we have this lovely hammock of muscles that protect our pelvic organs. And today we're going to learn how to connect with them, how to breathe into them, and how to relax and strengthen them. So finding yourself a nice, comfortable position sitting on the floor, legs crossed. Take your butt cheeks from one side to the other with a little tug and connect your sit bones with the earth. Let's take an inhale here, a nice exhale, letting it sigh out and relax the shoulders. And sitting yourself up nice and tall here, take one more breath, inhale, exhale maybe through the mouth, really relax. And then with that hammock in mind, maybe close the eyes and start to imagine that hammock of muscles. Notice that the pelvic floor moves in rhythm with your diaphragm as you breathe. When you inhale, the diaphragm moves down and so do the pelvic floor muscles. And as you exhale, the pelvic floor moves up with the diaphragm. Sit quietly here for a few breaths and let's observe that natural flow of your inhale and exhale. And with each breath, allow yourself to become more and more aware of the movement of your pelvic floor muscles rising and falling. All right, with that nice connection in mind, open the eyes and slowly move yourself onto your hands and feet into tabletop position. All right, making sure our hands are nice and secure against the earth here underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. Let's start with a nice long spine, engaged abdominals. Then we're going to inhale as we drop the belly, lift through the chin, open through the chest, open through the hips. Exhale, pushing into the hands, lengthening through the arms and dropping the head down, bringing that chin into the chest and finding that nice relaxation through the back of the neck. Now, as we inhale up and as we exhale down, let's start to engage with our awareness of the pelvic floor muscles. Cat-cow is a great yoga pose for strengthening the pelvic floor muscles. Inhaling yourself up, exhaling it down. Notice from the start of the class, as you breathe, that when you inhale, the diaphragm moves down and so do your pelvic floor muscles. As you exhale, notice how the pelvic floor moves up with the diaphragm. And you can really think about strengthening through that hammock of muscles as you nice and gently inhale up and exhale down, flowing here, movement with the breath, and just really isolating maybe some awareness and some of that oxygen that you're breathing in down and into your pelvic floor muscles, bringing the spine back to center here, gently curling the toes underneath. We're going to walk the hands back towards the knees, lift the knees up, bending through the knees and into a forward fold. Inhale, and as you exhale, forward fold and relax the upper body. Let's take the hands to the opposite elbows, finding a nice secure foundation in the feet here and a gentle rock in forward fold to release lower back muscles. Then inhale, bring yourself up to standing and find yourself maybe a little rolled up towel here. We're going to come into a yogic squat. Sometimes the heels or the knees or the feet can be tight. We're going to take the toes out, the heels in, the arms up for a big stretch. And then we're going to exhale, hands come down to the floor. Bend through the knees, take it easy here. Find your stance and then maybe come up onto the balls of the feet and give yourself a little stretch through the hips here. Now our goal is to come down onto the heels, but if that doesn't work for your body, just grab that rolled up towel, slip it underneath your heels, and then gently sit your heels back onto the towel, finding nice open knees, open hips, and the fingertips can support you on the floor here. So I'm going to come down onto the heels, and we're going to start into our squat by taking the hands to prayer pose and then sliding them down towards the heart. And as you do, opening up through those hips just a little bit by gently pushing the upper arms towards the inner knees. Now find your breath, inhaling and exhaling, thinking about the pelvic muscles, your breath with the movement. On the inhale, the pelvic muscles move down with the diaphragm. On the exhale, the pelvic floor muscles move up. Feel that sensation as you breathe into it, and think about bringing energy into those muscles just by thinking about where you can direct that new oxygen and that beautiful, clear, flowing breath. Think about bringing it all the way down into the pelvic floor muscles. And then when you're ready, reach yourself forward and turn yourself over so you can come onto your hips first, and then lowering yourselves down and onto your back. Okay, our last strengthening pose for the pelvic floor muscles today is a bridge pose. Taking the arms either side of the body, feet are hip distance apart, in line with your hips. Nice long neck by tucking the chin into the chest. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, push into the feet and start to lift your hips. What you're looking for is a nice long line, straight line, down through your chest all the way towards your knees. You're going to think about inhaling and exhaling here into the pelvic floor muscles, strengthening them with each inhale and each exhale. Get nice and supported on your shoulders, your upper back, your arms, and your feet, so everything else gets a nice stretch, a nice flow of energy. Thinking about those pelvic floor muscles as you inhale and exhale. Breathing helps everything to relax and lengthen and strengthen. So just think about that as you breathe here, holding your bridge. And then on your next inhale, think about lowering it down with your exhale and bring your knees into your chest for a nice release in the lower back muscles. Gently rock those knees from side to side, maybe even take the hands onto the front of the knees or the front of the lower legs. And give yourself a little squeeze here, maybe lifting the tailbone off the earth, relaxing through the lower back muscles, relaxing through the abdominals. Nice soft arms. And breathing gently as maybe you might open up the knees, keeping the big toes to touch and finding a nice gentle opening here for the hips. Breathing into it, finding your inhale and your exhale, thinking about those pelvic floor muscles. Each time you inhale, each time you exhale, allowing them to relax here in a nice extended child's pose. Breathing and relaxing. Let's take a little rock, sit ourselves up. If the rock doesn't work for you, just roll yourself over onto your side and use your hands to push yourself up and into your sitting position. Then we're gonna take the knees out to the edges of the mat, making sure the knees are underneath the hips here. Maybe the big toes touch, and then we're gonna sit back for it. Opposite extended child's pose here, reaching the hands forward, finding this lovely opening for the shoulders and the chest. We can relax the lower arms onto the floor, forehead can come to the floor, and then start to think about your pelvic floor muscles as you start to breathe. And just finding this nice extended child's pose with the hands and the arms extended forward, the knees and the hips open, is a beautiful place to relax tight pelvic floor muscles. Just imagine this lovely free flowing breath coming into that area of your body. Sometimes the hips and the lower back can get a little tight with pelvic floor conditions. So just bringing the breath into that area, inhaling, exhaling, Allow it all to relax. And then when you're ready, push into the hands, bring yourself up. Sit yourself back, maybe over those crossed feet, or any way you can bring yourself into a sitting position at the front or the middle of your mat, and then lower yourselves down and onto your backs. We want to get a nice flat back here. We don't want to be able to fit our hand through our lower back like I just did there. So in order to correct that, let's take the arms either side of the body, push into the arms and lift the hips just a little to scoot them forward towards the heels, finding that nice flat back against the earth. Bringing the knees into the chest here. We're going to open them so they're hip width. And then we're going to reach for the outer ankles. If we can reach for the outer ankles comfortably, then we're going to reach for the inner arches of the feet. Maybe nice and gently grabbing hold of the arches and guiding those knees maybe a little bit towards the earth for that nice opening in the hips and a little relaxation in the pelvic floor muscles. Tucking the chin into the chest helps to lengthen through the back of the neck. Breathing here, thinking about relaxation. Maybe if those hands are extended too far up to the inner arches of the feet, you can always slide them down to the outer ankles. It's about relaxation here, not pushing or pulling, finding the breath. Think about that breath flow into that pelvic area, relaxing, releasing any tension or tightness, and increasing blood flow. Now we're going to release the legs one at a time, taking them down onto the earth. And then gently extending those feet down to each corner of your mat. Maybe a little wider than your hips, then you can let your feet fall to the sides to allow the knees and the hips to relax. And then allowing the arms to relax by turning the palms facing up. Maybe tucking that chin into the chest for a nice long neck. And allowing the breath to relax here. Nice natural rhythm. Just relaxing, breathing, allowing that pelvic area to completely release and relax. This lovely pose, Shavasana, is a great place to relax at the end of any yoga practice, but it's especially relaxing for the pelvic floor muscles. They feel nice and supported here by the earth. The entire body can relax as well, just allowing that breath to release. If this is all the time you have, then you can always roll over and bring yourself up now. Otherwise, let's stay here for another few breaths. Just maybe allowing any remaining tightness or tension to let go. Reminding yourself that yoga is a practice. Nothing happens in a day. But if you practice these exercises consistently, you will find relaxation for tight pelvic floor muscles, and you will find strengthening for weak ones. So just breathe and allow the benefits to seep in at the end of your class or the end of your practice here. And then gently, when you're ready, bend the knees, take the feet to the floor, roll yourself over to your right side and sit yourself up and into your cross-legged sitting position to finish. Let's take the hands onto the knees or in the lap. Find ourselves a nice centering breath here, inhaling, exhaling, allowing anything else to let go. And then bowing your head to your chest, whisper Namaste. Bless your inner energy. And thanks for joining me today, guys. Don't forget to practice. Everything happens with practice. Also, don't be afraid to share this with a friend who you think it might help. And I'll see you all next time. Namaste.